Thank you. Mrs. Cullen, we're ready when you are.
Okay, we will call the meeting to order and have everybody rise to salute the flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mrs. Chenoweth, would you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Vance Clemens. Ms. Patitsky. Here. Mrs. Blomgren.
Here.
Mrs. Chaikin. Mr. Cormack.
Here.
Mrs. Cullen.
Here.
Mr. Rice.
Here.
Mr. Russell.
Here.
And Mr. Wurs.
Here.
Okay, thank you. That brings us to public comment. We don't have anyone who was signed up for the first public comment period, so I'll go right into the president's report. And I don't want to take up too much time, but I did want to pay a compliment and make a suggestion tonight. The last committee meetings that we had for curriculum, if you don't get a chance to, if you haven't been attending the meetings, it might be worthwhile to check them out. I just want to pay a compliment to the board members and to the cabinet members and the teachers who were in attendance, because I thought what happened there was a really good discussion. And we have been having, I have to say, great discussions at committee meetings, and we've worked together, making suggestions, asking great questions, and it's led to a number of adjustments that have been made that I think have been great improvements. And everybody's been so flexible and cooperative, even when there's a time crunch to get things done, right? And maybe going back and doing things a few times. So I just wanted to say that I really appreciate it. And I know we have a lot of great news to get to, so I'm going to hand it over to Dr. Bolton.
Thank you, Mrs. Cullen. We begin the superintendent's report by recognizing 3 additional groups who have attained state honors since the last meeting that we had. First, we're joined tonight by the Penridge ice hockey team along with their coaches. The undefeated Penridge ice hockey team were the champions of the Suburban High School Hockey League. They then defeated Council Rock South to capture the first Penridge ever Flyers Cup championship. And then they outlasted Thomas Jefferson High School 4-3 on a goal by Kevin Pika in double overtime to become the 2022 Pennsylvania Cup champions. And they finished their season undefeated with a record of 22 wins, no losses, and 1 tie. We are incredibly proud of all of the students, and a huge thank you to the coaches, Mr. Jeff Montagna and Mr. Chris Pico. The students and coaches could come forward to be recognized. You'll notice that every picture they've had since then has the 3 trophies, so they've all gotten stronger.
Of course they want to hold it. They don't get the that would be kind of cool.
Oh, they're holding their thing.
We're supposed to smile, so we're supposed to smile because we're going to be over.
How you doing, Mr. Chenoweth? You doing all right?
There were a couple programs like Skill High, Boys, and
Chicken dinner.
Some of those kids, that was the highlight of their life. They still talk about it.
Pause for parents.
Back in the 80s, we won, and I'm like, wow. This is fun. Those kids, it's amazing.
Okay, let's congratulate them again. Stay down here, Mrs. Cullen. Got more pictures to take. Next, we need to recognize those members of the high school choir who qualified for the PMEA All-State Choir. They were 6 of only 240 of the strongest high school vocalists in the state. Congratulations to Anna Yates, a soprano, Emily Joe, soprano, Lily Cecere, alto, Jared Smith, tenor, Kira Roach, alto, and Margot Maxwell, alto. Let's congratulate them.
Doesn't remember the zoom in. Everybody's not paying attention. The gentleman was in this class.
Congratulations. You heard last month about the Penridge students who qualified to move on to states as part of the Upper Buck Technical School Skills USA. We had 6 students who received at least bronze medals in their awards, and we want to congratulate them tonight. First, in automated manufacturing team, sophomore Catherine Bachman. In crime scene investigation, 10th grade Ireland Gruszewski and 11th grade Megan Smith. In health knowledge bowl, Olivia Foster, a senior, and sophomore Brittany Bradley. And in marine service technology, Joseph Shermer, a senior. In addition, Joey was named as the April Upper Bucks County Tech School Student of the Month. He's enrolled in the Small Engine Technology program and was being recognized for his excellent mechanical skills, his hard work, and is well known at Tech for his positive attitude and friendly personality. Let's congratulate all of them. Can you go back? Can we go back a slide?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
We're not that heavy. So is the student?
Congratulations.
I feel like I have to explain myself. When Dr. Bolton was speaking, I wouldn't have taken a picture normally, but I said to one of the hockey moms, "Ooh, all the hardware is here." And she said, "Ooh, great, get a picture." So I did.
Excellent.
So that's why I rudely used my phone.
Every April is World Autism Awareness Month and starts off on April 2nd, which is Autism Awareness Day. Throughout the entire month, and especially on August 2nd, throughout the district, schools held fundraisers, spirit days, and learning experiences to help bring awareness to autism. West Rock Hill Elementary hosted a STEM day of play for approximately 100 students from grades 1 through 5. Every grade level was led by 2 amazing teachers, and students got to participate in the unique, fun, and challenging robotics activity. The event was a great way for our students to engage in collaboration, creativity, and critical thinking. Thank you to our 10 teachers for organizing the event: Ms. Jankowitz, Ms. Reese, Ms. Moore, Mr. Matalesta, Ms. Myers, Ms. McGovern, Ms. Weir, Ms. Crott, Ms. Scogan, and our elementary coach, Ms. Erin Riker. Thank you to all of them. Students from 4th grade in Guth Elementary School, along with their teachers, Ms. Glenn, Ms. Grudy, and Mrs. Kratz, were learning about state government. And so they got the opportunity and the experience to experience state government at the state capitol this month, and even had the impromptu opportunity to meet with our local state representative, Honorable Craig Statz, for a quick chat and picture. Last week, the Unified Track Team held a home meet against Truman High School and Central Bucks South High School. Despite the windy and cloudy skies, the teams had a great day of some friendly competition. This Thursday, they traveled to Central Bucks West. This past weekend, the Penridge High School brought to the stage their spring 2022 musical production of The Wizard of Oz. Our very own school board student liaison, Lily Cecere, played Dorothy and was joined by a spectacular cast of friends on the Yellow Brick Road. From set design to costumes to light and sounds, the performance was truly remarkable. Mr. A.J. Krieger, Assistant Store Manager of the Percy Giant Food Store, presented Penridge School District's Director of Nutritional Services, Ms. Gina Girotano, with a check for $5,360.25 as part of the supermarket's Feeding School Kids initiative. The money was raised by the 5th Street Percy Giant Food Store through their customers and then was matched by Giant. So we thank all of those families who are signed up with their card at Giant. We are incredibly grateful for their support each year. The Penridge School District received again the designation as the best community for music education in 2022 from the NAM Foundation. NAM stands for the National Association of Music Merchants. Penridge Music Department has now won this award 8 years in a row, and it is truly a credit to the district, our music department staff, and especially our students and community. April 6th was Penn Ridge Day at the Bucks County Community College, where we had 48 students who were welcomed and got to experience a presentation, a tour of the campus, and even a course mini classroom session to get a sense for what courses would be like if they choose to attend Bucks. The Penn Ridge Community Partnership invites you to join us this Thursday. Dr. Dalsgaard will share scientifically based strategies to help better understand and manage your child's stresses and anxieties. As a licensed and board certified clinical psychologist, she has expertise in cognitive behavioral therapy for children anxiety disorders. She will describe what is normal versus problematic anxiety and detail positive parenting strategies that will help you and your child to connect and thrive. For more information, please go to our website, pennridge.org/community partnerships. And that is the superintendent's report.
Thank you. Just open up the consent calendar. Oh, we don't have a student liaison with us this evening.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, so we'll move on to the consent calendar, and I would like to make a motion to approve the consent calendar items A through I.
I'll second it.
Okay, it's moved by myself and seconded by Mr. Rice. Are there any comments or questions from board members? All right, seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Okay. And next is curriculum with myself. We do have an approval, I would like to make a motion to approve the honors journalism course.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Seconded by Mrs. Patisky. Are there any comments or questions from board members? All right, seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. And our next curriculum committee meeting is next week, May 2nd. That brings us to facilities with Mr. Cormack.
Had to make sure I get the smiley face. Good evening. On our agenda, we have approval for geotechnical engineering and testing services. Make a motion to approve David Blackmore and Associates to provide geotechnical engineering and testing services for the 2022 paving curb sidewalk project at a cost of $33,510.
Second.
Okay, it was moved by Mr. Cormack and seconded by Mr. Wurz. Are there any comments or questions from board members? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Mr. Cormack?
Second motion is to approve East Rockville Township Stormwater Management Agreement between East Rockville Township and the Penn Ridge School District for the high school, middle school campus, parking, and field development projects.
I'll second.
Okay, I'll give this one to Mr. Rice. Moved by Mr. Cormack and seconded by Mr. Rice. Are there any comments or questions from board members? All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 7-0.
A motion to approve a QNB, Quakertown National Bank, letter of credit resolution and related documents to provide escrow in the amount of $1,851,398 for the development agreement and stormwater management agreement between East Rockville Township, Penn Ridge School District for the high school, middle school campus parking and field development projects.
Second.
It was moved by Mr. Cormack and seconded by Mr. Wurz. Are there any comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 7-0.
Mr. Cormack, could-
We have to do D. I think we missed that.
Thank you.
That's the stormwater
Correct,
management
yeah.
agreement.
Oh, did I miss the, oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
My mistake.
Take that
On a
yourself.
move, this is for approval of East Rockville Township Stormwater Management Agreement. This is a motion to approve East Rockville Township Stormwater Management Agreement between East Rockville Township and the Penn Ridge School District for the high school, middle school campus parking and field development project.
Second it.
Okay, it was moved by Mr. Cormack and seconded by Mr. Rice. Are there any comments or questions from board members? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 7-0.
Next, the motion to approve participation in a tick mitigation research study with the Tick Research Lab of Pennsylvania.
I'll second it.
Okay, moved by Mr. Cormack and seconded by Mr. Rice. Are there any comments or questions? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 7-0.
Looking for approval of the obsolete items A through C listed below in the agenda.
Second.
It was moved by Mr. Cormack and seconded by Mr. Wers. Are there any comments or questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0.
The next facility committee meeting is scheduled for May 3rd, 2022.
Thank you, Mr. Cormack. Mr. Rice?
All right, that brings us to the Finance Committee. All right, I'm looking for a motion to approve the Upper Bucks County Technical School 2022-2023 budget.
You're making that.
I make a motion, I'm sorry. I second it. I
All right,
Okay.
just checking.
keep you on your toes today.
Good.
Need a second.
Could I get a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, it was moved by Mr. Rice and seconded by Mr. Cormack. Do we have any comments or questions from board members?
What was the, I thought the issue, and I can't pull it up right now, but the issue was that they were gonna, I'm sorry, try to come back with a balanced budget on that, right?
I think they were intending to go back and make some adjustments to show where the additional revenue would come in. They had explained that there are sources of revenue, and so the question from board members was, could you please show that in the budget itself? But I am not sure that those additions were made. Dr. Bolton?
Mr. Daubert, I'm looking at you, but I do not believe that there was adjustments to the, that is correct. There were no adjustments to the budget that was presented to us originally, although their intention was to show additional resources that would be coming from the 3 sending districts to cover those.
So is it thinking that if we approve this, they'll come back with a revised budget, or will they not be coming back at all?
I believe the revised budget would just indicate an increase that we talked about at the meeting, split among the percentages of the 3 school districts to match the revenues that was the proposed deficit.
All right.
So, just, I'm sorry, Dr. Bolton, so we know what the number is, right?
Correct. The number is unchanged from the presentation that we had.
So we're just, so the delta would just be split out, but we roughly have an approximation of what we're going to owe anyways if we vote tonight.
That is correct. Yeah,
Okay.
and the deficit number is in the budget presentation, which I'm trying to call up as we speak, that is part of the agenda.
Right.
It does show that number and our percentage that we would owe.
So to answer Mr. Russell's question, we're not going to vote on anything that we don't already know. It's just a question of where they allocate the cost to.
That is
that
correct.
fair?
Yes, that is correct.
Does it answer what I presume was your question?
Yeah, the one issue that was at the committee level was why they passed a budget that was not balanced. And so if they anticipate the revenue coming from some other, because it seems like it's a matter of timing as opposed to anything else. But my hope was to have a balanced budget that we could approve as opposed to just an expense budget. So really, I feel like we're approving the expense budget without a full understanding of where the revenue is going to come to pay for some of that.
Right, so I think that the board has the ability to approve the budget. Ultimately, however, if you feel that they are not appropriately accounting for where the revenue comes from, you guys can go back to them and say, look, you've got to make changes. I'm sure that Mr. Cormack and Mr. Rice will express that at the technical school level. So it's up to the board, of course, but you could approve it, pending, the receipt of those additional pieces of information. In fact, you could make that part of the motion if you wished.
That's what I was going to ask. Should we make an amendment to the motion? Offer a friendly amendment?
Mr. Rice made the motion, so if Mr. Rice would accept a friendly amendment to say that it's conditioned on receipt of information sufficient to demonstrate the sources of revenue, then that would be fine.
I'm friendly, so I can agree to that.
I'll second that.
It's not the response I expected, but okay, it's in order. Then there's a motion, there's a second on the floor with that condition.
Okay, are there any other comments or questions from board members then? All right, is everyone clear on the motion that you are voting on? All right. All right, so all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries 7-0.
All right, next on the list. Going to make a motion to approve the Nutritional Services Employee Compensation and Benefits Plan for 7/1/2022 to 6/30/2025.
Second.
Okay, it was moved by Mr. Rice and seconded by Mr. Wers. Are there any comments or questions from board members? Go ahead.
I just want to say, for any of those staff that are watching, I just want to thank them because I know they've taken on so much this year with, they're really short-staffed and they have been working for not a lot of hourly wage. So I just, if anyone's listening out there, I just want to say thank you so much for staying with Penn Ridge. And it does seem like they have a really neat family group. There's a lot of people that have been working in the nutritional services for years. So I think that says a lot about Penn Ridge too.
And this is a group of people who work voluntarily, if I'm correct, right? And what was the number? 1 million, 2 million meals? What did they, do you remember?
Yeah. So the first summer, the summer of 2020, at the end of the summer, we passed the 1 million meal mark. And all of that was done through volunteers, that they were not paid that summer.
Okay, are there any other comments? Okay, so all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Mr. Rice?
All right, I'd like to make a motion to approve the Penn Ridge School District Administration Compensation and Benefits Act 93 in quotes plan for 2022 through 2023 through 2026, 2027 fiscal year. Could I get a second, please?
Second.
Okay, it's moved by Mr. Rice and seconded by Mr. Wers. Are there any comments or questions? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Mr. Rice?
All right. I'd like to see a motion to approve contracts A through N listed below. I'm not going to go into. There's a
Busy month.
there's a lot of them there.
Okay, I guess I'll second that. So it's moved by Mr. Rice and seconded by Mrs. Cullen. Are there any comments or questions from board members? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0.
All right, the next one. Finance Committee meeting is scheduled for May 3rd, 2022. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And Mr. Russell, personnel, please.
Did we skip one?
Oh, did we?
I think we skipped the Act 93.
No, we did that.
We did.
Oh,
We
that
did
was
that.
the
We're good.
administrator
This is good.
compensation.
We did that.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
All right, the first thing is the approval of revised job descriptions. And part of this, just by way of background, these job descriptions are reviewed periodically, and it's been a number of years since some of these have been reviewed, and what they're done is they're sent out to supervisors to see if there's any tweaking that needs to be done, any change in the qualifications of what's being sought. And in one situation, there was a merger of 2 secretary positions. So they're listed, they're attached. So a motion to approve the revised job descriptions A through L listed below.
I'll second it.
Okay, it's moved by Mr. Russell and seconded by Mr. Rice. Are there any comments or questions? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Mr. Russell?
The next motion relates to health care premiums. And one thing to be aware of just for the public is that the school district is self-insured. And also of note that the rates have not increased for 6 years, which is rather unheard of in the public sector, or private sector rather, either, I would imagine. So in any event, this is a motion to approve the 2022-2023 healthcare premiums listed below.
I'll second it.
Okay, moved by Mr. Russell and seconded by Mr. Rice. Are there any comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Mr. Russell?
The next motion relates to substitute teachers, and this is a motion to approve the ESS substitute 2-year contract at the current rate of 1.324.
Second.
Okay, moved by Mr. Russell and seconded by Mr. Wers. Are there any comments or questions? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Mr. Russell?
The next motion relates to increasing the hourly rate for our lifeguards, swim instructors, lunchroom monitors, playground aides, summer student workers. And this relates to just the increase in hourly rates for all across the board, it seems like, and difficult to find people to fill those positions without a competitive rate. So this is the proven hourly rate of $15 for the following staff members, A through D, listed below.
Second.
Okay, moved by Mr. Russell and seconded by Mr. Cormack. Are there any comments or questions? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Mr. Russell.
The next motion relates to the approval of the Delta Dental 2-year contract, and there's a slight increase in the monthly rate for that, and that is attached, but a motion to approve it going from $4.14 to $4.35.
I'll second
Moved by Mr. Russell and seconded by Mr. Rice. Are there any comments or questions? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
that.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0.
And the next Personnel Committee meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, June 1st, 2022, which is it? It says 21
Oh, right,
there.
right, yes.
Is it June or May?
It's 2022 though, but I'm hoping it's June.
It's in the May, I think it's held on, it would be May as opposed to June in there. It's on the-
Mrs. McHale, is your committee meeting in May?
I believe we are.
Okay,
Of this year.
Monday or
yes,
Tuesday.
May of this year. And will that be on the Monday or the Tuesday?
I believe we are on the Tuesday.
Okay, which is the 3rd.
Priscilla.
Thank you.
Do we have a Wayback Machine that I don't know?
Yes.
If so. All right. So next we're going to have the IU report. Mrs. Banis Clemens can't be with us this evening. She's under the weather, so Dr. Bolton has offered to give the report.
Two things, one past and one future for the IU. First, recently, every year, the Bucks County IU works with all 13 school districts to celebrate student artwork across the county. So if you've ever been in the IU, the artwork that is hanging in the upstairs lobby is 13 pieces of artwork that are taken from and chosen with the art teachers in each of the districts. And so recently, we had a celebration there where all 13 school districts gathered and celebrated the students and their artwork. And so I just wanted to thank the IU for doing that. It's something they've been doing for many, many years. So they professionally frame it. They put the student's name and the title of the piece on it, and then at the end of the year, the students get to obviously take it down off the wall and keep it. The other one is just encouraging, if you're looking for any summer camps, the IU is running their STEAM Lab camps. They have a building in Warminster, and they offer weekend activities, but they're also offering week-long and daily summer activities that are of a STEM variety. So if you're interested in those, if you go to the Bucks County IU website and look for their STEM tab, you'll be able to see that in those signups.
Thank you very much. Moving on to Upper Bucks Tech with Mr. Cormack then.
Good evening again. It seems like every time I want to give a report, Dr. Bolton always steps in front of me. Congratulations again, Doctor. I appreciate that. Again, I wanted to talk about Skills USA state competition winners. We saw that already, so we'll just move on. Again, thank you, Mr. Bolton, Dr. Bolton. I do want to talk about one exciting thing, because the school is a dynamic institution that we have in Bucks County, and the students really present themselves extremely well in all of the state competitions. So the Upper Bucks County crushed the competition at the Liberty Bots NRL competition. Liberty Bots is a Delaware Valley chapter of the NTMA, National Robotics Leagues for Student Battle on, again, robots. Good afternoon. They crushed the competition. Bucks County Technical School came in number 1 and number 2 in the competition in southeastern PA, which is phenomenal. And it really, we've got to thank Mr. Matthias, who is their instructor in mechatronics, who helped them move on. In addition, the Upper Bucks County Technical School also won $500 for the Innovation Award. So they were outstanding in looking at working with mechatronics, electronics, components, and moving these robots in a certain area. All awards and costs of the event were covered by the National Tooling and Machining Association. So again, congratulations to the Voc Tech School for doing a fabulous job in moving our students forward in their job search for the future. And last but not least, the Upper Bucks Technical School, we're doing an executive director search. We're extending it out to the community. So if you go online and you can link into a brief survey to share your opinions as to how the JOC, Joint Operating Committee, would look at reviewing for the next executive director, please go online and give your comments. We'd really appreciate it. And that is my report. Thank you.
So should people go to the UBCTS website, or could we link something for them to?
It's gobucksiu.org/BUBCTS.
Maybe we can put that into the meeting notes for.
That would be a great idea.
Okay, thank you.
Good suggestion. Thanks, Joe.
Okay. All right, and that brings us to the Penridge Community Education Foundation. Dr. Bolton again.
Tomorrow night is the 11th annual A Lovely Evening, which is a wonderful celebration of the staff and the students in Penridge, sponsored by the Penridge Community Education Foundation, and it is their largest fundraiser of the year. Just a reminder that all of the funds that they raise throughout the year come directly back to classrooms through teacher innovation grants that have benefited almost 100 teachers just in the past 5 years that I'm aware of them. So tomorrow night, Tuesday, April 26th, it's at the Sellersville Theater. It begins at 6:30 with a dessert reception, which is always a good thing to start your evening with. And then the reception itself, the awards presentation, begins at 7:30, and it features multiple student performing groups, as well as this year's Friend of Education Awards that are being given to Ms. Donna Fuller, who is a social studies teacher at North Middle School, as well as Mr. Matt Smith, who is the principal of Guth Elementary. So if you don't have anything going on tomorrow night and you'd like some desserts and to celebrate some students and staff, Sellersville Theater at 6:30, and tickets are available at the door.
It really is a nice event if you've never been able to go. All right. And that brings us to old business. Do any board members have old business? Nope. Any new business? No. All right, so we are back to public comment. And I do have 2 people signed up for public comment. The first is Deb Foster. Oh, we didn't read the, yeah.
Yeah.
I can go back to it. Hey, thank you. All right. According to Policy 903, public comment, which is limited to 3 minutes, should be directed to the presiding officer rather than individual board members, district employees, or members of the public. For confidentiality and privacy rights, specific comments regarding particular individuals must be communicated privately to the school board and superintendent via email at psdschoolboard@penridge.org. And just remember to state your name and municipality when you come to the microphone. It's a challenge to memorize that. Gold sticker.
This is the little button right there. There you go.
Got it.
Wow. It's the first time I'm talking to the board after having kids in this district for 15 years. After all I've seen and heard this year, I felt it was time. When I was in school, I was privileged to sit around the dinner table with my family talking about my school day, whether it was about what I learned or stories about my classmates and teachers. I know now families aren't able to do that regularly, but I hope parents are making time to talk to their kids. I send my kids to school to learn. I expect the teachers to be teaching my kids math, science, history, English, technical skills, and creative arts. My family has built relationships with teachers since my children started kindergarten. We've taught our children that it doesn't matter if you're black or white, straight or gay, be a good person to everyone. Be friends with people that are good to you. That's what we should be teaching our kids, and it should be taught from start at home. If it's taught at home, then it's carried into the school. It's the parents' responsibility. It's time for parents to parents. Teachers are being put in positions that they should not have to be put in. Their personal beliefs on politics, religion, and sexuality should be their private beliefs. All classrooms should be considered safe for all students. Kids are dealing with a lot, not just race issues or sexuality issues. What we need are more counselors, people that are actually qualified and able to give the proper help to all kids. Secondly, I want to mention that there is absolutely racism in this school, but not the kind that's been discussed in DEI initiatives. DEI seems to be geared to black and brown people and the LGBT community, which is odd to me because I thought the E stood for equity and the I was for inclusion. There was an incident with my daughter when she walked into a locker room at the tech school, and a black girl said, "I hate white people." My daughter said, "What did you say?" And the girl repeated it, "I hate white people." My daughter said, "You can't say that." She replied, "I can say whatever I want. It's Black History Month." I ended up speaking to the teacher and the administrator, who both agreed that that was not appropriate. They handled it by addressing the entire class with a PowerPoint presentation, basically saying to be nice to each other. I can tell you right now, if my daughter walked into a locker room and said, "I hate black people," it would have been handled entirely differently. As I said, instead of teaching black and white or gay and straight, teach kindness and respect. My husband, who's a proud Penridge alumni, has often told our children, talk to everyone and be nice to everyone. It was a mantra he lived by, and to this day, he's a successful, respected member of this community. He doesn't spout off his political views. He doesn't pick and choose who his customers are based on their race and sexuality. That's exactly how we all should be living our lives. As it comes to the end of my time here at Penridge, I want to thank the teachers, the staff, and the board for always having the kids' best interests at heart. We've had a wonderful experience being a part of this district. Since 2007, I've had the privilege of volunteering in classrooms, being on the PTO and CCN board, and the Softball Booster Club. I've watched my children excel in academics and sports, become leaders, build friendships, and establish relationships with teachers. They've stood up for what they believed in a respectful manner and have respected the rules that have been placed throughout their time at Penridge. Thank you to the current board. Keep standing strong, fighting for the education of our children, and our family will be continuing to be Penridge proud.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Foster. Okay, and the next person who has signed up is Joanne Jones. Just remember to state your name and municipality.
My name is Joanne Jones, and
You-
the microphone.
We're gonna turn on the mic.
There.
there you go.
There you go. You're fine. Good. Good to go.
Okay, thank you. My name is Joanne Jones. I'm here for my daughter and my granddaughter. They live in the Percy Borough. They live on 9th Street in Percy, and I'm requesting a bus for my granddaughter.
Ma'am, we're going to, under policy 903, you're going to need to talk to the superintendent because that's,
I've tried that.
well, we'll do that right after this meeting is over, okay?
Oh, okay. I was told to come here. That's the only reason why I did that.
Well, no, I mean, I was not for like the specific, to make a comment.
She can make a comment,
Yeah.
but if it has to do with a specific student, that's something that the administration has to work out. So if she's making a specific request for a bus, we should talk at sidebar, okay?
Oh, okay.
Is that fair?
I guess. I don't know. I'm
Because there are
just trying to
FERPA
follow the
issues and things
protocol.
like that. Yeah, that's fine, ma'am.
Okay.
No, we'll take, right after we're done, when we're
Okay.
just about adjournment, we'll talk.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you,
you.
ma'am.
Thank you. All right, and those were all that we had signed up for public comment this evening. So I will make the announcements. We have an executive session following tonight's meeting to discuss a personnel matter, and the next school board meeting is scheduled for Monday, May 9th, 2022, and that is unusual, and it's because of the budget process. We need to meet early in May so that there will be 30 days for the public to review the budget before it's approved in June. So if you make a note on your calendars to come to our meetings because they're so great and exciting, the next one's May 9th. And after that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second it.
Okay. All those in favor?
Mr. Alexander, will you let us know when the live stream is down, please? Thank you.